Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Danny, and in today's video we are going to discuss structure and navigation of websites. It's a very simple video, but it's intended for users who are new to web design and they want to understand more about how websites are structured and what kind of navigation builds into your website. Let's start off by talking about website structure. What is it about? Why do we need it, and how it's being implemented. And then we're going to move to talk about the different navigation elements in websites. When it comes to structure in web design, there are three major categories. First, a linear structure. This structure is generally not used, and it's only common when the website is especially small in size. I'm talking about a website of 4 to 5 pages. For example, if you have a website about an event that is occurring in some city and you want to make a public website about it, then the linear structure would be ideal. This would entail 4 to 5 pages, and you would take your users through a funnel or a flow intended from page A to page D or E, for example. So you'd start off with a landing page that talks about the event in general, and then you would take the user to a second page where you talk more details about who's attending that event or who are the speakers in this event, for example. And then you would take them to a third page which talks about the prices and how to purchase tickets for this event. And the third would be a form where users can enter their credit card information and buy tickets. This linear structure of websites is generally not very common and intended only for small websites. The second structure is the most important one, and it's the hierarchical structure. It follows the structure of a tree, where you have a main branch and leading into sub-branches. And we'll talk in detail in this video about the hierarchical structure. And the third is the web structure or a matrix structure. This structure is not common for websites. It's more or less how web design is all around the globe, meaning how search engines see websites. This is how websites interact with each other. So it's random linking to external websites here and there, and that is what is known as the matrix or the web structure. We're not going to talk about the first and the third, and we'll talk more detail about the hierarchical structure. In general, every website starts with a landing page, also known as a front page or a home page. My preference? Call it front page. It's very self-explanatory, and users who don't know much about web design would understand that your front page is the only page that is your index page. From a front page, you would go into main sections of your website, and these are called sometimes site links. When you go to Google and search for a major website, for example, Nike website, you would see that underneath the Nike.com there are other links to main sections of the Nike website, and this is what site links are about. These are mainly the major or the main sections of a website, and from there, for example, these could be a section about, for example, let's say news. It could also be a section about events, or maybe a blog. So these are the main sections, and from there you would go into another level, a level deeper, which is called the subsections. And this is where your sub pages would live. So this is in general how the hierarchical structure is laid out. Now, let's move on to talking about why do we need a structure in general. Well, first and foremost, better user interaction or better user experience. You want to provide the better UI so that your users would enjoy browsing your website. And then you're really structuring your links and your site in a proper way. a way that search engines would really like. And if search engine likes your website, they will crawl it even more. And when they do this, you're going to a better SEO for your website. In addition to this, you're making it easier to manage your website. So people who are managing your website are able to navigate to the page that they want to make changes to or updates, and the whole overall experience would be much, much better. And finally, how do we implement a website structure? This is important because now that we know the different types of structures and what it entails, how do we go about implementing them? First, you need to put a plan, and the plan is better done early enough in the design process. So you better talk to whoever is going to be working on your website, or even to potential users of your website, to try and understand what is the structure that best resembles your hierarchy. What is the best structure that would represent your business? And only then you would be able to structure your pages in a logical and meaningful way. So think logically when you're doing that planning, because that's the only way to get it right. And then make sure to keep the number of your subsections balanced in a way so that you are having somehow more or less the same number of subpages in each of the main sections or main subsections. And finally, use a shallow depth. I mean by that, make sure that your page is not too deep, because if you have too many levels in your website, the user will get confused and they won't be able to navigate easily your website. And in all cases, you need to use what is known as breadcrumbs, and that is something I'll talk about in a minute. And finally, make sure that you list your main sections in your header and footer. Make sure that your users are able to access your main section links at any time on any page easily. Now that we know how to do it, you need to remember that in order to make a good website structure, you need to understand what navigation is. And navigation is how or what are the different elements in your web page that makes it easier for people to communicate and go from one page to another. These are your links all over your web page. So to start off, you have your main menu. Your main menu is one of these navigation elements, and it's generally located in your header, as you can see. And then you have your secondary menu. And then you have your breadcrumbs and inline links, related links, external links, footer links or footer menu. Are you confused? If you are, then hang on a second. I'll explain each one in a minute. First, the main menu. It goes in the header. Second, secondary menu. This is the menu which is secondary, meaning it is for a subsection or for a main section, and generally it's located in your left navigation, or what we call the sidebar. And also we have breadcrumbs. These are very important, and these are trailing links explaining to the user where they are located right now when they land on a particular page. Because of search engines, sometimes users end up landing on a random page in your website, and it's very important to create that breadcrumb and giving the indication of where the user is exactly, so that they can navigate back or go to a different section easily anytime. Next, inline links, related links, or external links. These are different links that you can have within the content area of your web page. And these lead the user to more interaction and make the experience of browsing your site even better. And finally, footer links. Footer links are located in your footer, and they are basically another main navigation, or if you think of it, your same main navigation, you put it in the footer for users to find it easily when they scroll down to the bottom of your page. So that's it for today's video. We talked about structure, website structure, and navigation. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and make sure you subscribe to webawk.com. Get a free account right now so you'll be able to get more access to full training material on web design that I will be providing myself. But make sure you get a free account right now by going to webawk.com and signing up, and see you in another video.